So the question is, why, two questions. Why replace my 2018 GSA 1200? The second question is, why did I not purchase a R1300 GS or GSA? A better answer, first of all, is why did I buy a 2018 GSA the same month that 2019 1250 GSAs were coming out? Money. So I think if I were to do things based on like the success of this channel and making a lot of money, like in advertising, the answer is always buy the hottest, coolest new thing that no one has yet, and then have all the cool videos about experiencing and talking about it because everyone's on the internet searching for like things like that. But I do things more for myself, as you all know that watch this for a while. So the answer is buy the last generation of a bike when the new one's coming out. You know, I bought the Leica Q2 when the Q3 was coming out. I bought the Canon R5 now that the R5 Mark II is going to come out soon and things are super discounted. So I tend to buy the last before it gets replaced kind of timing to save the most money. And I can't tell you what I paid for this one. I can't. It's not like BMW gave me a discount, but I got a really great price on it. But I got a great price on this bike. As soon as the R1300 GS came out, I saw one at Barber, the Barber Vintage Days, sat on it, really appreciated, as like a lover of like German craftsmanship, I really appreciated all of the like finer details of that bike that I think like solve some of my gripes. And I really am impressed how much BMW did to innovate that bike. And the GS was like, is the hottest selling adventure bike, and yet BMW said, screw it. We're replacing it and we're gonna do even more innovative stuff. I would love to own one. Do I want to spend $27,000 to $29,000 for a GS that I'm gonna take off road, that's gonna have less fuel range than I'm used to, that's going to be faster than I want, lighter than I want? I know that sounds weird, but like light bikes scare me a little bit. I actually prefer taking a GSA on hard enduro riding than I do my 701. I'm weird that way. My first bike was a GSA. And so when I do hard off-road, when I did Colorado in Moab for 2 weeks, I took the GSA. I didn't take the 701 because the 701 is like too light for me. I want weight underneath me. I want that balance, that control. I want to feel the heft of it. And so when I saw the prices of the 1300 GS, I said to myself, that GSA is going to be fucking expensive. It's going to be like $35,000 to get a premium, like a fully equipped 2025 GSA. It's going to be bananas. And interest rates aren't great right now to finance stuff. I'm not like a wealthy retired person like many of you. And also, it's going to take a couple years for demand to go down and for BMW to start like adding in like finance promos, like 0% promos. It's going to be a couple of years. And so we're looking at like 36, 37K, because they always go up a little, like $500 a year, $37,000 motorcycle, fully kitted, in 2026, 2027. And by then, this bike may be like broken. I could have crashed it. There's all kinds of problems that could have happened between now and then. It will have an extra 30,000 miles on it. I can tell you after riding these two side by side, this bike is really tight. This bike is really loose. Like everything is very touched. I've taken the bike apart so many times. Things are just different. I'm not trying to not sell you, please buy the bike. But like, I have ridden the piss out of this bike, and I'm not sure that I wanted to get forced into purchasing a new R1300 GSA when like interest rates suck and demand is high and I'm not really in a position to negotiate for the best price. Also, I'm not one of those people that like rejects new and shiny stuff because it's going to guarantee to be unreliable. I'm not like that at all. I trust that the new GS is going to be very reliable. But you can't deny this bike sitting behind me has been a bike in production mostly. 90% of it has been in production for like 11 model years. This is the 2024 R1250 GSA is the pinnacle of the Wethead GS platform. They have been putting together steel trellis frames for 11 years for this model. They've been putting these racks on for 11 years. They've been bolting this to this with these same two bolts for 11 years. The TFT is now 5 years old. The Garmin nav system is 11 years old. These grips look the same as they did on my 2017 and the 2014 GS. Everything is so similar that the person on the assembly line, like screwing in these crash bars, has done it a million times in 11 years. And it's probably like, I gotta learn a new bike now. There's something to that. Like, even though the shift cam engine has only been in production for 5 years, it's been proven to be reliable. And the variations between the shift cam and the original Wethead design, minimal. Shift cam is an emissions fuel economy enhancement, which, by the way, this gets better fuel economy than my current GS with the same size tank. The 1300 GS had a reduction in tank size for the increased fuel economy. And so you get almost a 1-to-1 range between the 1250 GS and the 1300 GS. It's possible that the 1300 GSA also gets a reduced fuel tank and therefore lower range, which is what happened when they went oil cooled to Wethead. The GSA took a reduction in range. So this is the best range, tried and true design. It's been around for 11 years. I've owned, this is my fourth one. I just, I trust it a lot. And the notion of having to pay $10,000 or $12,000 more, you can do the math. For a 1300 GSA when they come out and not get like a 0% interest deal, I just don't know. The last thing is this. I don't have it in front of me. There's so much shit and it's a mess in here. I put up a list of all the Farkles on my Rosie over there, and all but 8 of those Farkles move to this bike. My $4,000 Touratech suspension package moves over. My panniers, they move over. My seats, they move over. All of my lights, my handlebar grips, my windscreen. The list goes on and on and on. My risers, my steering damper, all of my protective, everything, my shifter, it all moves over. So I've got like $11,000, $12,000 in Farkles that go on this bike and they direct fit. It's kind of nice. All I'm buying for this is skid plate, crash bars, and a couple other small things that I wanted to buy, but that aren't, that are not special or anything. I bought a few things that I wanted for this build, but really it's skid plate and crash bars that were the biggest thing that would not be compatible because of the way the engine design changed. So why now? I think that the time is right for getting a GSA, 11-year-old design, 5-year-old engine design, the best possible price and interest rate, and compatibility with my Farkles, and my general just know-how of how to work on this bike is really strong. And I look forward, when I make more money, I look forward to buying, boss, if you're watching, when I get a promotion in 5 or 6 years, I look forward to buying a 1300 GSA. And I know it's not hype, and I know these videos aren't going to do very well as you go through this journey with me, but it's the bike that I wanted, and I trust it, and I love the color a lot. Yeah, first impressions, it's fast. A combination of having more torque down low than my 1200 and a lot more horsepower up top, combined with the fact that there's no accessories on it, so it's the lightest it's ever gonna be. This thing hauls ass. It is very fast. Considering that I spend most of my time either on an interstate doing 73 miles an hour in cruise control, or off-road in second gear, 10, 15 miles an hour, additional power doesn't really matter to me. So, you know, I don't really, I put it in dynamic mode for like 2 miles last night, and I'm good. I'm disabling dynamic mode and just keeping Enduro and Enduro Pro as my default modes, because this thing is scary. It's so fast. So I don't really need speed. I need reliability, comfort, fuel economy, and compatibility with my accessories. That's why I bought a GSA. Shout out, by the way, to Max BMW. Again, they're not gonna tell you what I paid, but and I'm not gonna tell you what I paid. But here's what I would say to you. In my last video, I talked to you all about how to buy a GSA for cheap. Go through the process, talk to all your dealers. Start with a small radius, a little bigger radius, and then a really big radius. And then do me a favor and drive up to Max BMW, rent a one-way U-Haul motorcycle trailer, and buy a GS from them, because all the national dealers that move a lot of GSs, they just couldn't touch Max BMW's pricing. So I wouldn't say make them your first stop, but make them your last stop, and then be really prepared to like be blown away by how good their prices are. And what the great thing about Max BMW is, particularly Ben and Stratton and John Martin at the New Hampshire store, is that I send them a spreadsheet of like, here's the VIN number, here's the dealer, here's the breakdown of the prices, you know, less the demo credit, less a dealer discount, less this, less that. And they were like, that's cool, we can beat that. It's very honest, very truthful. And the last thing that really helps them sell more bikes, their dock fee has been $179 for like 12 years. That's their dock fee, $179. They don't charge a prep fee or an uncrating fee or a PDI fee. They don't do any fees other than their dock fee. And they'll sell you a great warranty as well, is well priced. So, you know, that's my recommendation, is talk to Max BMW, because their price was so good. I drove 1,900 miles to pick this bike up in my truck. And after gas and a night in a Red Roof Inn, it was still way cheaper than anyone else. Yeah, more to come. I plan on doing like a comparison of these two models. I plan on doing like a little ride report, a little like mini review. I'll go through the TFT changes as well on this bike. I've done a video already for the lighting, which you'll see soon. As for planned mods, that should be a separate video. This is already too long, but it's the standard fare. I have one last thing to share with you. I've been afraid to share it because of how far away this is. So if you watch this in June and you're like, hey Adam, how's your trip? Don't call me out on it. Something terrible happened to me. But my plan is to ride to the Arctic Circle in June. So if all goes according to plan, this bike will be going to the Arctic Circle, 5-week trip. And yes, the wife has approved. In fact, by the way, this was her idea. She said, oh, you're gonna be in Oregon for the MOA rally. What are you doing after the rally? And I said, well, I'm flying in and out. I'm not gonna be there. And she's like, why don't you make a trip out of it? And I said, yeah, but it takes me a week to get to Redmond. And she's like, well, then make it like a 4 or 5 week trip to get home. Okay, will do. Wife with a 4-month-old child? Sure. And so we've been talking about it, and she's been incredibly encouraging. So I'll talk about that. I'll share that whole trip plan in like May, because right now, anything can happen between March and in June 1st. Okay, that's why I bought a 1250 GSA. And I'm sorry to disappoint you all that it's not 1300. Some people really thought it was 1300, and I've seen 1300s around. They're out there, but you guys might. I'm gonna say this one. I'm taking it back immediately. I don't think you guys understand the monumental cost of a non-adventure 1300 GS. The 719 or the trophy or rally package, whatever they're calling it, 26 to 28K with the full today's interest rates of like between 5 and 8% interest. And then I have to wait for Alt-Rider and Touratech and Tractive and Clearwater to get all their stuff together for the 1300 GS. Everyone, Machine Art Moto, National Cycle for my windscreen, everyone I've got to wait for to get their shit together. Black Dog Cycle Works, shout out to them. Then I have to hand over to do comparative build what I have here, like $15,000. That's being conservative. Just for a regular GS, without the fuel range that I want. And to spend significantly less than that at 1.9% interest, with all of my stuff moving over, guys, I couldn't do it for you. If you want to start a GoFundMe for 50 grand, I can make some stuff happen for you. But I promise you, there are definitely other GoFundMes that you should be putting your money towards, not the Adam needs a motorcycle for views. Fun. All right, everyone, this was fun to make. I'm exhausted, I'm tired, but I gotta go back tomorrow, and I gotta go back to finishing this 1200 GSA. It needs some connectors, brake fluid flush, and then just needs to be, I need to look over every bolt to make sure all the bolts are tight. After that, what do? Wash it, then new pictures, and then it goes back on Cycle Trader with new pictures. Thanks for watching. Last thing I'll tell you as I zoom in here for the dramatic ending. 1,900 miles to Troy, New York to pick up this motorcycle, and then going through my old house in Lyme to find a tenant. Heather and our tenants move out, so we're cleaning the house and getting it ready. And then taking a 4-hour nap. So I left work Friday at 4 p.m. Got to Troy, New York at 8 a.m. Got to Lebanon, New Hampshire at 3 p.m. Slept from 4 to 8 p.m. Got back in the truck and drove overnight with a hotel stop for 5 hours. I'm almost 40. I'm still not recovered from that trip. That was a lot. And Porter was with me the whole time. Porter was great. Porter loved the car ride more than I did. Okay, everyone. Ride safe. Thanks for watching, and welcome to the next saga of this channel. These videos are too long. No one watches these videos. But thank you for watching if you're still watching. I appreciate you. Bye. Isn't that a beautiful motorcycle? That blue is perfect. It's the perfect blue. I love it. Is there already a scuff? Yeah, there's already a scuff. I suck. Unfortunately, I'm going to put the tech spec tank grips on the tank right there with that GS, and I'm gonna ruin it. But I need grips. You see them on the 1200 over here. I really need see the tank grip right there on the right. Those little sticky grips. They're so nice. Yeah. All right, guys. Ride safe. Bye.